Hi there, it's Michael Andre Ford, San Antonio, Texas, your American Angel Intuitive. But instead of thinking about this as somebody that you rely on, I'm actually the person who just helps you let go more to tap what you've already got here. So that's feeling, hearing, seeing, a lot of other experiences just involving all your senses. You already have all the skills you need to connect to the universe. That's angels, loving guides, famous figures, whether they're religious, non religious, even your passed over loved ones and pets. So this is a lot to grasp, a lot to take in, a lot to allow for. But if we back up and just look at the big picture in anyone's ordinary life, that's sort of the challenge or the opportunity for growth that faces us all throughout our life. As a kid, you were wide open, generally speaking. You used your imagination, creativity. You kind of went for it. You were in the moment no matter what you did. It could be Lincoln Logs, Legos, just playing in a treehouse, finger paints, anything. You were committed. And you did it with joy. You weren't thinking about anything else. And that's basically what I'm talking about here is being back in the moment again, trusting your heart, being in your heart, allowing for more, loving yourself more. As a kid, generally speaking, most kids are just here and thinking doesn't get in the way. They're not stressed out. They're not worried about paying the bills, the next career hop, relationships, and so on. As adults, we tend to jump into things pretty seriously and start limiting our possible growth, limiting possibility itself. And we do a lot of knowing, the type of knowing that really doesn't do anything. It's static, it's quicksand, it's concrete thinking, and it actually blocks our personal expansion in life. And if you want, the name of the game in life is actually continued growth and expansion, learning more about the concept of love and then being that love. So it's really just being more love, loving more, allowing more self-love. Now, our ego, our psyche as an adult will do anything to block that. That's why we categorically judge and oppose and resist everything within and external to us that threatens our sense of identity, our role, our narrative on how we're living our life. It takes literally an SUV car wreck, a divorce, health crisis for a lot of us to pop us out of our thinking. Thinking seems awfully real. The funny thing is, thinking for the most part is a waste of energy. I'm not knocking it. It's not going away. We're all going to do plenty of thinking. I'm about to go on a run, and I'm going to have half my run filled with thinking that was a waste of energy. So the best I can say is just take a breath on everything that I'm saying. Also, let it go. Don't listen to me at all. And what's fantastic about me as a, quote, expert or a person who does something for others, I help a person spark it up. And by that, I don't mean anything illegal with drugs. I mean, they get to light up. They get to be what they already are within. They get to tap their senses more fully. They get to use what they're already using throughout any given week, but they're only using it for yoga, for the art class, for singing in the shower, for driving when they're enjoying the drive. I help a person let go and, again, tap all their senses so that they simply are doing basic seeing, basic feeling, basic hearing, and a little bit more than that with angels. Light beings, fairies, your passed over relatives, your pets, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Mother Teresa, figures from India, Native American chiefs, Sylvia Brown, Steve Jobs, you name it. It's 170 plus figures. I've got photographs of angels, videos of angels now. Check out my YouTube channel. And it really doesn't matter about the photos. A static historical photo of Audrey Hepburn, meet that angel, can wink, smile, nod, shoulder waggle, and it's a great opportunity to meet your other half, who you are not really. You're not your thinking, you're not your ego, you're not your thoughts, any of the negativity. But that's a great chance when the photo moves for you. Your brain, your ego, your psyche, your resistance is going to say, I didn't just see that. And your heart, which is unlimited, has no limits, it knows no limits. It's already a Major League Baseball player. It already knows how to kick a field goal 60 yards out, if it's an NFL analogy. Your heart already knows what to do for all of this. So essentially what I help a person do is just get out of what they know long enough to get to full openness here to then receive all. And you can call all anything you want. It's universal love. It's all the religious terminology. It's the Buddhist terminology. It's the near-death experience crowd terminology. It's the light being, alien, UFO terminology. People have to have it their way. But it's also all the cultural terminology. So if you're from India, you've got to hear it a certain way. So you get it the Hindi way or in Telugu. So answers are in all languages, all dialects. If you're from Japan, you hear it in Japanese. I once had 5 women over and they got most of their answers in Japanese, but they had been in Austin, Texas long enough to also get some answers in English. Now, I don't see anybody's questions or answers, generally speaking. I used to go over all that stuff, but this is direct. You do your own listening. And more important than all the languages and all the dialects in the world, because angels just know they're beyond human thinking, they're beyond our sense of structure and our limitations. They're just pure light, pure love, and they're just here to help. You can get any answer to any question any day of the week. You have to have the guts, though, to be here, which can be scary for a lot of us. And you have to have the guts to set your intent and to allow and just ask and listen. I love having people use pen and paper to write down their answers, but it's not practical or necessary if you're in the middle of driving or in the middle of a supermarket or you just don't have pen and paper. So what do you think half your intuition's been this whole time? I mean, think about it. It would scare the bejesus out of you if it was Aunt Martha coming in full-fledged in the middle of some activity. It's better that it sounds like your own voice. After all, if you're unconditional love and you're those light figures, you don't want to force anything on us. You're technically living every moment of life in the best way possible. You're being given the opportunity to expand, to embrace more love, to grow any time of your choosing. That's the whole concept of free will. If you think of it this way, I wouldn't want to interfere with anybody else or tell anybody else how it is. And I'm trying not to do that here. I'm simply presenting you with the opportunity that anytime you want, you can have any answers to any questions in any language or dialect on any topic. So picture what this means for career, for job hopping, for relocating, for relationships, your soulmate, for that cousin, for your health situations. But you have to want to ask. I can't jump into your body and make you ask a question and then make you listen and then make you act on the information that you've got. This is what it's all about normally in life. You have to figure things out for yourself. That's the beauty of all of this. And now, more important than all the languages in the world and all the dialects in the world, you also just get to hear everything the way you need to hear it. So pretend we took 1,000 random people from across the United States and had them ask the same question. First of all, the context behind the question, even though it's an identical question, would not be the same because, hey, what do I need to know in life for the next 9 months? It doesn't hold the same meaning for each person. And then the answer that they're going to get isn't going to be the same for all 1,000. The advice will be different for all of them. They're all on different life paths. They're all at a different point in their life. They all have a different place that they're at and need to hear something a certain way. And guess what? One angel could address all 1,000 individuals at the exact same moment. They can just juggle the balls that way. They also know how, through a vibration, to, again, speak any language. Pretend those folks in America actually don't speak English. Some of them speak other languages. They can get it in that language, that dialect. But they can also hear everything just the way they need to hear the answer. And that fires them up and gets them motivated and feel like they're on cloud 9. They're excited that they got the answer. And that's a pretty special thing too. So how do I explain that? You have no privacy and you're not getting judged about it. Angels just know where you are on the big picture or the big landscape. And they also know where you are stage-wise in your life, your growth, your unique life path that you basically signed up for when you came in this iteration of you. So anyone who's got the guts, the curiosity to just be like, hey, yeah, sure, I could use some help and can keep it kind of cool on the lowdown, not freak out about this, this is for you. You could ask about your next book topic. You write books or you want to write your first book. You can get the title. You can get the chapter outline. You can get specific help writing. You can learn to meet your cheerleading squad. And maybe it's angels, some guides, some passed over loved ones. You can see full on. A lot of us need to see a football field away because we have so much thinking, so much worry about this. Oh my God, I'm going to freak out if I see Jesus or if I see Mary or if I see Buddha or if I see my cousin who passed over 10 years ago or I see my guardian angel. People tend to make the guardian angel thing one of the biggest deals. They can meet 50 other angels. They can meet Sai Baba from India, Krishna, Ganesh, and then they go to meet their guardian angel and they freak out. It's my guardian angel. Oh my God. So we're all going to freak out about something. My message to everyone is just, hey, this is about a little more gentleness, kindness, love. Get your answers like a buffet. Go right up. Ask and listen. How fast can you write? The record is 49 pages in 9 hours. an Australian. Australians have been fantastic at this. I've been doing this 11 or 12 years, a few thousand folks. Also, just for anyone who's still trying to think about this, grasp it. I spent 2 years trying to grasp angels. I got this far. The conclusion is they exist. Trust that it's so. Let them do their jobs. Invite them in whenever you can remember to. Even if you suddenly were like, hey, I want to do this. I could use all the help in the world. I'm a salesperson. I need all the leads in the world. I want to get my leads. Who should I call? And you get 40 names. Even if you wanted to get all the leads in the world, odds are you could not wake up every day and remember to do this. There's just something called the flow of life. Half of it's your thinking, the other half you're here, and you're going to get distracted, you're going to get busy, you're going to get taken up by events, you're just going to go in different flows and directions. So there's no way we can stay this open 100% of the time. It's just not, again, in the cards. We have something called thinking. It's generally very limiting. It's the judging, the fear, the stress, the worry, the reacting, what else? Guilt, shame, non-love, unconsciousness. And there's a collective version of it as well. Now, what I was going to get to is there's a collective version of love. There's a lot more sparkliness. There's a lot more creativity, all the other higher vibrations. And so what's really cool about all of this is, let's say you have a twin brother or a twin sister, you're getting along. We did a game show setup. Totally put you in 2 different booths. You each met, heard, felt, saw angels, Plato, Marcus Aurelius, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, and your guardian angel, and Aunt Martha. And then we brought you 2 together. You can do it jointly. You can have that experience and hear at the same time. You can see together. You can see your flow of energy with someone else. Or I've got a dog over here who was showing herself earlier. You can see the aura on the pooch. You can see your flow. You can see the flow on a band that's jamming together and that likes each other. And you can do this without having met angels or anything else. You can see auras on trees. That's one of the cooler things. You really have to go super chill and hear. But the way I'm going to describe going super chill and hear, it's the way you're already performing a third to half your functions daily. If it's a light switch on the wall, you're not analyzing as you approach the light switch how you're going to do it. Are you going to use this hand? Are you going to do it gently? Are you going to slap it? Are you going to look at it? Are you going to look away? And you're not agonizing over the light switch from 5 weeks ago that you hit on the bedroom wall. You just trust that the light switch is like a non-issue and you get it done. The light comes on. You expect the light to come on. And so your ego, your psyche, your ability to react, judge, and everything else doesn't get involved. It doesn't even care if you hit the light switch 10 more times during the day. It doesn't have time or energy to try to control that as an issue. Same thing with brushing your teeth. Now, falling asleep at night is a 50-50 proposition. Lots of times you just fall asleep at night, you do a great job. Whatever that letting go is to just perform a function, think about how many muscles are involved for walking across a room, or going for a run when you didn't think about going for a run, or any of the other activities that you do. That's what I'm talking about. That's just letting go to get out of here, to be here, and you're kind of one with all. And you're one with the book when you read a mystery book and you really enjoyed it. In fact, you got lost in the story. You kind of felt like you were with Sherlock Holmes. It's why you read the whole series of books, because it takes you somewhere. You enjoy it. That's all this is. That's the degree of difficulty. So it's hard for the wellness, spiritual, holistic communities and everyone else to embrace any of this because it's a little far out there, but it's the big picture is mankind's ready for a little more compassion, kindness, gentleness, unconditional love, a little less rat race. That's thinking. It's not one of the big banks out there. It's not corporate America. It's not global climate change and all the other stuff. Those are externals. Those are externals that you can get caught up on and spend a lot of energy that's thinking, that's negativity, and it kind of, you end up generating more of what you put your focus on. So here's the big kind of takeaways that I've gotten from 11 or 12 years of this. Where you put your focus is where you put your focus. That's number one. And so wherever you put your focus, you're feeding energy to it. You're generating energy, you're sending energy out. And if it's a negative topic, if it's something you're resisting, judging, labeling, oh, that's bad, but my position's good, then that generally is not love. I think you can eventually figure that out, and that's part of the plan here. During the course of your life, you're actually meant to kind of realize that Beatles song, Love Is All There Is, Love Actually, the movie. You're meant to actually, one way or the other, through a lot of illness, through car wrecks, through 10 divorces, or just on your own without all the drama, You're just meant to figure out that those sparkly little shiny moments are the pinnacle of success. That the more you love, the more you allow others to be as they are already for all their flaws, just like yourself. That is loving more, allowing more, self-love, super important here. And so life really can be shiny, sparkly. I'll say it in a gentler way. You can walk a smoother path. You can follow your passions, your interests, the things that you really should be pursuing in your life. You can get definition about what your unique life path is all about. You can meet your invisible advisors, the ones who have been helping you all along. There are certain moments they have to come in and help you. It could have been back in high school, you were going to take that teacher or this course or college, but it ended up being this professor and that major instead because that's what you signed up for. They subtly will jump in to steer you along. I almost drowned once in Nantucket in a little surfing accident, bodyboarding right on shore, 1 foot from the shoreline. I got pitched head first, saw stars, but it wasn't my time to go. Now, my dad's passed over in 1970 when I was 2, and I know he had the help of angels too. He's unconditional love, not an angel, but just, really cool figure. Hundreds of people have met. My mom's passed over when I was 23, turning 23. Hundreds of people have met both of them. They show up in their 20s. They're a cute couple. But my dad got to, quote, rescue me, if you want to listen to the angel's account or his account. How that works exactly, I don't know, but I didn't drown that day. So I guess that could be considered a near-death experience. But I didn't even realize the whole incident until maybe 7 years ago. And I didn't even start looking at it until about a year ago. With our brain, which is like a Sherlock Holmes looking glass, we want to over-examine everything. And so my reminder is, there's a million ways to get to your heart, to take a breath, to drop to your heart. So you can be peak performance. Let's do a sports analogy. You can be peak performance just by being in the moment. It allows you to see the sunsets, appreciate the sunrise, smell the flowers, hear the birds, read a book more efficiently or more enjoyably. There's a million ways in. And that's why breathing, meditation, mindfulness exercises, all that other stuff is all pointing the same direction, to your heart. You don't need any lingo. You don't need any jargon. You don't have to go to an ashram in India. You don't have to go to Machu Picchu. You don't have to take that person who does 25 seminars to get you certified. You don't have to go to this institute for the summer to do this type of class or see these experts. Now, those all help. They can help you figure out what's up, what's down, and what you want to reject and what resonates with you. That's fine. Whatever gets you started for allowing more, breathing more, and allowing for just some more inner calm. The more you can figure out the difference of what spinning is, or thinking, or just blocks of energy that are not you. Put on the news for 5 hours and ask yourself afterwards, are you a happier, gentler, kinder, less opinionated person? Odds are no. Everyone has concrete views these days. Oh, that party's bad, Texas is bad, or that party's bad, California is bad. No one needs to change any views, but recognizing, are you up here doing more negativity, or are you down here? Even if you're right in judging someone else, oh, my neighbor 20 houses down is a total jerk, and 16 other neighbors agree with you. They've got a pattern of behavior. How could anyone not label them a jerk? You have to recognize that the situation at hand in that exact transaction has nothing to do with the neighbor. You just generated negativity up top by resisting the way someone is, by putting a label on them. And in a bigger sense, there's a trillion layers or trillion levels up this curve towards more and more love, towards more and more light, towards more and more consciousness. There's a trillion layers of consciousness or greater compassion. When you're doing the judging, the labeling, or this is how it is, absolutely, you're not even on that scale. You're down lower on the unloved scale. Because in one sense, there's no such thing as right or wrong. There's just proper understanding. Are you causing harm? Are you causing limits? Are you judging, resisting what already is? Or are you doing love? Love is love. Love allows for all as it is right now to be as it is right now. And so the lesson before us all, and you'll figure it out on your last breath. If you want to resist all this, you're not probably even watching this in the first place. But on your very last breath, you get to reconcile in a sense. You get a little flash. You realize what living life is down to the very moment. Half those movies out there do it. I think it was The Last Samurai, Tom Cruise. The samurai at the very end, as he's dying, looks at all the cherry blossoms and realizes they're all perfect as they are right now. And he had been looking for the perfect cherry blossom, if I recall correctly, the whole time during the movie, a samurai. So look, there's an opportunity for growth that awaits us all. It's just more consciousness, more generosity to ourselves and others, more breathing, more room for maneuver, more appreciating life, what's in and around you, more creativity, more harmony. Again, a smoother path to walk. This is not contrary to business. You can have any answer to any business question, and you can be more fired up about whatever your personal pursuits are. You're a great artist? Great. Get the support of the universe helping you even more with the distribution of your artwork or your inner creativity. Just ask, what should I do today? Angels are happy to always give you advice anytime you're willing to listen. Again, it goes back to what will you allow for. If we took angels, Buddha, Mary, Jesus, Mother Teresa, Chogyam Trungpa, Krishna, and Sai Baba, and Sri Kaleshwar out of this, plus Aunt Martha, we just took them out of this. This really comes down to, how are you spending your energy? Most of us aren't aware of even the concept of thinking versus awareness. Or I'll say unconditional love, conditional love. So it's not even love. It's conditional thinking or conditionality. It's duality in Buddhist lingo, if I got that right. This, generally speaking, you're not even actually living. It's going to feel like you're living. I had a police department job, Nantucket, my first job out of college. That was sort of like a rent-a-cop, meter-maid job. But when you wore the uniform and the shield and you get sworn in, it's just a different reality. You get sucked away, and just, it's a weight. And same thing with the Wall Street job in New York or some of the other jobs. It's real in one sense. I definitely had fun. I didn't know any better. I wouldn't have changed a thing. But there's a greater awareness now that you can't put that genie back in the bottle. And so I hope as I get older and as I get to talk more about angels and guides, and you have no limits, that you can meet any angel anytime, see him full on standing there. You can see angels as humans. And tons of people have done that. Tons of people have done that after doing a session with me on their own in Manhattan or wherever around the world. I've seen angels. I've seen an angel named Heather in Stockholm, New York, a bookstore in Austin, and Maui, Hawaii. And so angels can do anything, but they're not here to freak us out. They're not here to do our work for us. Again, it doesn't mean you can't get any answers to any questions. I just think that's really important as a point to make. So if you've got the guts to ask and listen, you deserve your answers. Now, again, taking those steps to enact something also takes a lot of guts. You have to be here to transact in a proper way in life. Any action coming out of your heart is beautiful. It's love. And that's why you following your unique life path is what's just so amazing about all of this, is you get a chance to get your radar up. You get a chance to get your inner guidance system up. Or, I'll say it a third way, you get a chance to trust your already pre-existing inner guidance system. You had it as a kid. You had it sporadically through the teenage years and maybe your early 20s. But at some point, most of us lock up hardcore with the adulting. We take ourselves, our roles, our parenting, our job title, this or that way too seriously. Our paycheck is ginormous. Or it's the opposite. We're having difficulty and we've got a lack of some sort. Oh, I can't make enough money. This has happened to me. I think it was a Ted Lasso episode, season 3, episode 6, the Amsterdam episode. Such a great season. Season 3, Ted Lasso is so positive. I have never seen a show with that much consciousness flushed into it. But there's a season 3, episode 6, Amsterdam is the scene. The owner of this football team falls into the water in the canal in Amsterdam. And later she's on a houseboat with the owner, and he says about a particular event. It might have been a divorce or something. It didn't happen to me. It happened for me. So I'm going to rephrase that a little. Life events don't just happen to you randomly. There's no such thing as an accident. Everything is synchronicity. You can ask, if you don't believe in any of the angel stuff or the guides, it's not that you don't believe it, but you're just not ready to accept it. How about that? Do the one-way requests. Do the one-way, hey, universe, and do your hedge. I'm not sure how to do this. I'm not sure if you exist, but trust that it is so when you make the next request, the next step here. Hey, universe, and try to shrink your doubting down just enough that when you send out your request to the universe, you're setting your intent, you're allowing for the universe to respond even non-verbally. You don't have to hear directly. Just be like, hey, universe, I need more fun. I need more fun people. I need better relationships. I need a clearer indication of what works, what doesn't work in my life. I need a clearer indication about my current job. Should I take the new job offer? I need an indication which college is the best college I should go to. Next thing you know, next day you turn on YouTube and there's UPenn. And that's what you were wondering about. Was it UPenn or Harvard? I'm just trying to make something up here. The point is the universe is here to respond to whatever you want to put out to it. If you're focused on negativity, resistance, doubting, judging, fear, worry, stress, which we all do tons of, welcome to being a human being, when you're spending your energy that way is exactly what you're going to get more of. So your opportunity for growth in all of this is recognizing the difference between the flow up here and the flow here. The flow up here at best is neutral once in a while. And then second best is it's 0.0000001% negativity. And then guess what? Most of the time when we're up here thinking, we're slapping labels on everything as fast as we can. It's like trying to hand out tickets at the Indy 500, and those guys are zipping by real fast. So the point of this is don't try too much, just take everything with a grain of salt. But the second you're willing to just take a load off your shoulders, there's a lot of people who cry and yawn because they've been carrying around their stories. My problem is, my situation is, my drama is, you don't understand. I've got cancer, 19 kids, 18 dogs. I'm in debt by $4 million, and I've had these 5 medical conditions forever. I mean, as soon as you're carrying that much baggage around, it's awfully hard to get to here and be wide open. Hey, the world's my oyster. I can go in any direction I want. Let's get going. That's just not going to happen for a lot of folks. They've done the adulting too well. And so back to Ted Lasso, episode 6, season 3, I got riveted on the couch. I'm watching this and I've been trying to, other people have said this, but there are no accidents and life events don't happen to you, they happen for you. Everything is your instruction. That's probably Pema Chodron, if I said her name correctly. Everything is your instruction. Everything is your opportunity for further growth. And by growth, what do I mean? Out of this, into this. More heart, more love, more appreciation, more allowing, more attention. So all of this is about paying attention, this much more. And I'm going to give you the hall pass or the get out of jail card for free from the Monopoly game. Angels said, I used to hedge this 5 to 10%, but Charlotte came in a year or two ago and clarified again. Instead of 5 to 10%, she said 7%. She cut it down the middle. 7% less thinking a day, a week, is the Olympic gold medal standard for all of us. So put your feet up, grab a beer, relax. This is no major consciousness change where it's like the Stepford Wives and you're permanently smiling, you're permanently happy, and you're permanently levitating off the ground 1 foot. No such thing as total enlightenment for 99.99999% of human beings. I've yet to meet an enlightened person. We all still have to pay the bills, still do tons of judging and knowing. And the type of knowing I keep referring to is the knowing that blocks possibility. We want to label everything and everyone. Look at Scrooge at the beginning of Christmas Carol. I love using this one. We all agree he was a pretty big jerk. But by labeling him as a jerk, we're sending negative energy not just to him, but to ourselves, if you want to put it that way. We're defining ourselves by even engaging in negativity. We're showing that we don't get it when it comes to the concept of love. Love just loves. It's a constant. It never went away. So the side of you that climbed trees at age 5, or pick your happiest memory ever when you were carefree, fishing, laughing at the fish jumping from the river and, sparkling in the sun, or the flowers waving, or whatever it was. You never lost that moment. You never lost that ability. It's a crazy concept. It meant you started taking life so seriously when it came to word structure, achievement, failure, career, relationships, judging relationships. This person's that person's this, I'm this, in relation to everything else, and the stories we start weaving and telling everyone. Those stories are what define you when you are undefinable when you're here. You have no limits in real life. There's a bigger, broader, actual life. Love's a constant, period. It never went away. Think of it as a fog bank all over us, a global slipstream of shininess and sparkliness. That anytime you laugh, especially in a group of others, not at somebody's expense, but just genuine laughter, or you clapped gleefully at the end of the Disney movie, you're like, oh my God, best Disney movie ever. You're connecting to all there is. That's all this is. Love is the fabric of the universe. And so whether you're meeting light beings, your guardian angel, angels, Archangel Michael, Audrey Hepburn, an angel named John, who's synchronicity. How do you think you met your wife? How do you think you met your husband? How many angels were involved on their team, your team, to get you two to come around the corner in high school, college, smash into each other, drop your books everywhere, and pick up each other's stuff and do a hello? Or when that fork dropped at the cafe in Paris and she picked it up. So the point on all this is you have no limits. This is an opportunity for you to explore more what you're about, what your life path is about, what you signed up to be here for, and to get any answers to any questions, because you got a lot of letting go to do. The way I'm going to put this is ego likes to build walls, structure, opinions. It knows what it knows to the preclusion of real possibility. And so your opportunity probably as an adult is to first start letting go of all the stuff that doesn't serve you, lightening up. And so you're jettisoning luggage out the airplane door to lighten the aircraft up, or think of a lifeboat. And so once you've done that and you start to figure out the difference in flows between here and here, you're ready to get living more. And that gets fascinating, because then the world is your oyster. And so that's what angels can help you with, is first the full stop, take a breath, relax. It's not as bad, as dire as you think. And then they can help you analyze the situation, let go of what needs letting go of, and sort of reorient how you're flowing your energy so you can be a shinier, happier you. When you connect to your higher self or soul, you can see your soul out the window in the blue sky. You sparkle. You're connected to everything that is. It's when you walk into a cocktail party and either it's you or someone else, and they just have that glow about them. Everybody kind of congregates. You want to hang out with that person. That's all this is about, is just a little more loving, a little more allowing, a little more kindness, a little more gentleness. So my website's got photos of angels. There's a few videos now of angels. December 30th on my YouTube channel, Joy Flew Over My Head. There's a new YouTube channel at 24/7 Angel Wisdom. My original amazing YouTube channel is at Michael André Ford. Tons of interviews for the Angels, Positivity, and Love show. The book, Listening to Angels, has been #2 twice, last year, this year. Anita Morjani was kind enough to do a review or endorse it, so thank you, Anita, for that. Check everything out. My website is just my full name, michaelandreford.com. Until next time, thank you.